Hello and good morning and welcome to Inspiration Morning Live. I am Christina Crowley and I am so happy that you are here watching this with me today. Those of you who are live, I'm glad that you were able to make it. And those of you who are watching this in the replay, I know our schedules don't always match, and so I really appreciate you who watch me in the replay. And I help entrepreneurs, I help women, I help men who are wanting to go after their passion. And have you ever struggled with being your choices? And I know with people who are going after their passion, they struggle with the choices because sometimes they feel like they don't have the choice. They don't have the choice to go after their passion. And the reason I'm struggling now, and good morning, I'm happy to see you here, is because yesterday, after I finished here, I watched my mentor's broadcast, and things kept hitting me in the face on social media and books I would choose and different things I would start to be doing afterwards in my business about choices. And I ran across this quote, and I love it. I'm going to go to this other screen here so I can read it to you. What the quote is, and it's on a friend of mine's social media account, and it says, "You are who you are because of who you were, but where you go depends entirely on who you choose to be." And that is a quote from Hal Elrod. And Hal Elrod he's a speaker. He speaks about motivation. He's a wonderful motivational speaker. Hi, good morning. Choices kept coming up yesterday over and over and over. And for me, that's when I'm like, okay, this is a sign I really need to think about this. Why does this keep coming? And it reminded me of, when people are going after their passion, part of the, pain of not doing it is thinking that you don't have choices, or thinking that the choices you made aren't going to allow you to make the choice for one other thing or add something else, or even maybe changing the direction of your life. And I know when I was, I've changed, the road many times in my life. I have lived in many places. I've had a few careers, and now I'm doing it again. I am going more after my passion. And, our choices lead to our obligations, and our obligations are, noble things to have, and they are a consequence of our choices, but we're allowed. It's about who we want to be. I know in the past, when I felt I didn't have a lot of choices, that all I had were obligations, I realized that it took some courage, but I got me up the courage to make those changes. When living in LA just kind of was to me anymore. And I love LA, and don't get me wrong, I love living out there, but it just didn't feel right anymore. I made the choice to come back and live in Colorado. Good morning. How are you doing? If you have any questions, if you have any comments you want to add to the comment box, I can put them on screen, or I can talk with us about that. This is kind of a conversation. That's why Facebook Lives are such a fun thing, is, we can have an ongoing conversation amongst all of us. And Be Live, which is who I use, they help facilitate that. And I think that's a fun thing. All right. But, in changing our choices and choosing who we want to be, who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? It is entirely up to us. The obligations that we've made of previous choices of who we were back then, they may fulfill this right now, or they may not. But the choice is entirely ours. And yes, we live in the freest country in the world, but sometimes we box ourselves in. And I love when people talk about thinking outside of the box, breaking outside of the box, because we do get into routines. I love routine. I love lists. And that is part of how I'm able to get a lot done, is because I have routines and I have lists. But sometimes, it doesn't serve me well. Sometimes, getting out and doing something spontaneous does refresh my senses, and I need to do that from time to time. So I'm choosing who I want to be. And what I like to ask right now is, who do you choose to be? Are you choosing who you are, or is it that the product of previous choices that you've made in your life? Is it what is making you happy now? And so when you think about choices, and I kept running across them yesterday, as I said, but take a moment when you keep running across something to ask yourself, what is life trying to tell me? Why are these things sticking out? Now, if I tell you to look for red cars today, when you go out, look for red cars. You're going to see a ton of red cars. You're going to notice more red cars, not because they're there magically, but because your mind is looking for them, because your mind is seeing things more. And so when I saw choices yesterday, why is my mind seeing that? Is it my subconscious? Why am I seeing that? And I had to, kind of think, why am I constantly seeing the birds with the red breast? They're black and they have red on them more than any of the others. You can tell yourself, Pam Grau, on her, in her books, and she tells you to do that for one day. Look for red cars. Tell yourself you're going to see red cars. Tell yourself you're going to see white dogs. You're going to see white dogs all day. And then you do, and then you count them more and more. That is what becomes what you see. What you think is going to happen is going to happen. What you think you see, you will see, because you are looking for it. And it's not, because it wasn't there. It's because you look for it. You fulfill your own expectations. Good morning. I see there's a couple more with us now. So I want to say thank you for joining me. I appreciate you joining me live on the broadcast. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. I really do appreciate those. We are talking about who do you choose to be today. And I wish I could put this quote up on the screen. I may be changing platforms in the next week because earlier, I may put it on one of my social accounts because I really do like how it talks about, don't feel bad about, choices you may have made in the past. It is the past, and choosing where you go, it is important. We do have our own choices, and I really do appreciate you being here today. You have the choice to watch many, many other webcasts, and I appreciate seeing you here. It is Friday, and I hope that you're going to have a wonderful weekend. I know I will too. And when you're deciding what to do this weekend, realize it's all your choice. And I'm not saying that we control other people, because we don't. We do not control other people. What we control are our own thoughts. And by looking for red cars, we are kind of controlling our own thoughts. Emotions are emotions, and that, does help control our thoughts. But we can, with practice, we can control our own emotions. We need to feel our emotions, but that's another day's story. So I do appreciate you being on these Facebook Lives. I like all the hearts. I like the shares that you give. And I would like to know, with help from you, what would you like to hear me talk about? What are your biggest challenges in going after your passion? Are you going after your passion? That is what I like to talk about. And in conclusion, if you feel this has been helpful, click the hearts, click the shares. Have a wonderful weekend, and ta-ta for now.